If you want to make pixel art with PixelLab, but you don't want to use a sprite, or you just prefer working directly in the browser, PixelLab has a built-in editor option through Pixelorama. So in this video, I'm going to give you a general overview of how that works. We'll go through the PixelLab editor, create some pixel art, use the PixelLab tools inside Pixelorama, edit images, rotate sprites, inpaint details, and even animate an asset. So first, we're starting on pixellab.ai, and right here at the top you can see this editor tab. When I click this, it takes me directly into Pixelorama, which is a pixel art editor you can use on the web. And Pixelorama is kind of like an Sprite alternative. There is also a Pixelorama desktop app, but right now the PixelLab integration is only available in the web version. So if you want to use Pixelorama with all the PixelLab tools built in, you'll want to open it from the PixelLab website. Once we're inside Pixelorama, we can use it like a normal pixel art editor. Quick heads up, the editor is available only if you're logged in and on a desktop, so not available for mobile. So I'm going to start by creating a new file. And one thing I like here is that Pixelorama already gives you some common templates. You have different preset sizes, including some console style templates. For this first one, I'm going to do a normal 128 by 128 canvas. And now we have our canvas ready. You can see we have the regular pixel art toolbar here with all the basic tools you'd expect. But one really cool thing about Pixelorama is how the left click and right click tools work. So instead of only having your right click assigned to a secondary color, like in Sprite, Pixelorama lets you assign a different tool to left click and right click. That means you can have two tools ready on your mouse at the same time. So for example, you can draw with one click, erase with the other, or switch between two different tools much faster. Pixelorama also has a shading tool, which is another nice thing that Sprite doesn't really have in the same way. So even before we touch the AI tools, Pixelorama is already a pretty capable pixel art editor. But now let's use it with PixelLab. On the left side, you can see we have all the PixelLab tools available directly inside Pixelorama. Let's start with the basics. To begin, I'm going to prompt for an image, since as you know, I am not a pixel artist. So I'm just going to take advantage of the amazing tools we have available. I'll go to the Create Image category and use Create Image Small to XL New. I'll prompt for a full body front-facing witch, simple, and I'll hit the Enhance Prompt button. We can also choose the camera view, the direction, and the outline style, as well as the detail amount, so either high or low detail. We can also use an initial image, but we'll try that in a bit. For the output method, we can choose if we want the result as a new frame, a new layer, or if we want to modify the current frame. I'm also going to enable Remove Background. And there we go. Next, let's try a smaller canvas. I'm going to make a new 64 by 64 canvas. And this time, I'm going to draw a really simple base for a character. Nothing fancy, just a rough body shape. Then I'm going to prompt something like full body male base with black hair wearing black shorts. Again, I'm going to use the initial image. I'll set the image strength somewhere around 300 and I'll hit generate. And you can see this one does a nice job too. It keeps the general idea of the sketch but turns it into a much cleaner pixel art character. Now let's try the Pro version. So I'm going to use Create Small to XL Image Pro. This tool works a bit differently. You'll notice there are fewer manual settings for things like perspective and direction. But that's because the Pro model is smarter about understanding what you're asking for. So if we prompt something like front-facing farmer wearing knight armor, we should get something pretty close to that. For the output method, I'll choose Modify Current Layer. I'll keep Remove Background enabled, and then I'll generate. And this is one of the cool things about the Pro models. Depending on the canvas size, you get multiple frames. Since this is a 64 by 64 canvas, we get 16 frames. So instead of only getting one result, we get a bunch of options to choose from. That makes it really useful when you're exploring a character design and you don't know exactly which version you want yet. Now let's try another tool. This one is Create Image from Style Reference. I'm going to open that tool and use some of these character frames as style references. That way we can generate more characters that match the same style. So I'll add a few of these frames as references. Then I'll prompt something like women characters with different outfits, hairstyles, and jobs. For the output method, I'm going to choose New Layer, and now I'll generate. And there we go. We get a group of characters that feel like they belong in the same style as the ones we just made. So if you're making a game and you need multiple NPCs, party members, villagers, enemies, or background characters, this is a really useful workflow. You can create one style, use it as a reference, and then keep generating more assets that feel consistent. Next up, let's look at rotation. Inside the rotation category, we have a few different tools. The first one is the original rotation tool. This is the older version, and it lets you take an image of a character or an object, then rotate it or tilt it based on your settings. So if you just need one new rotated version, this can still be useful. You set the image, choose the rotation, generate, and it gives you a new frame with that rotated result. Then we have the newer Rotate to 8 Directions tool. This one is much more direct. You give it a south-facing image of a character or object, and it generates all 8 directions. So instead of manually trying to redraw every angle, you can create a full directional set much faster. And then there's also Rotation Pro. This works similarly to the newer 8 Direction tool, but it uses a different model. So depending on the character, the object, or how complex the design is, you may get different results. In general, the Pro tools tend to be smarter. Now let's move into editing. In the Edit category, we have a few edit tools. I'm going to start with the regular Edit Image tool, and for this first edit, I'll prompt something very simple. Change hair to blonde long hair. And there it is. It changed the hair, and it worked. Now let's try another prompt. I'll ask it to add a red dress to the same character. And look at that, now we have the character with a red dress. This is a really useful way to make quick changes without redrawing the whole sprite manually. You can change hair, outfits, colors, accessories, or other details just by describing the edit. Then we also have Edit Image Pro, same general concept but with a stronger model. And with the Pro version, you can also provide a reference image. So if you have a specific clothing item, accessory, prop, or design you want to transfer into the image, you can use that as a guide. In this example, I'd say the Pro output looks better than the normal edit result, but of course, it does cost more. So it depends on what you need. For simple edits, the regular version can be enough. For more complex edits, or if you need better accuracy, the Pro version can be the better option. One more cool thing that we can do with the Edit Image Pro is that we can take a sprite sheet of different characters and edit them all in one prompt. For example, we can prompt something like, change the characters to be the cast of a Christmas game, or the cast of a slimy horror game. You can also just ask to do simple changes like change their clothing while keeping the same characters. There are also animation editing tools like Edit Animation and Transfer Outfit to Animation, but I'm not going to cover those in this video because this is more of a general overview of Pixelorama with the PixelLab tools built in. Now let's make a new canvas again. I'm going back to the GBA size we started with, so 240 by 160. And now I'm going to create a full background image. I'll go to Create Image, then Small to XL New, and this time I'll prompt a landscape of a Japanese town. I'm not going to choose a specific camera view or direction here, and I'm also not going to remove the background because this time I want a full image, not a character or isolated asset. So I'll hit Generate, and there we go. Now we have a full pixel art landscape. This is where the workflow gets really interesting, because now that the image is inside Pixelorama, we can keep working on it with both the editor tools and the PixelLab tools. For example, I can go back to edit image and prompt, change it to a snowy scene. And it does it. Now the same image has been changed into a snowy version. That's really useful if you want to test different seasons, moods, lighting ideas, or variations of the same environment. And we can take it further with inpainting. So I'm going to use Inpaint v3. I'll draw on the inpainting layer over the area I want to change. Just a small area here. And then I'll prompt a plane flying over the mountains. Now I'll generate. And there it is. It added a plane into the image. So instead of regenerating the whole scene, we can just target one specific area and add or change something inside the image. That's one of the best parts of having these tools directly inside the editor. You can create, edit, paint, inpaint, and keep adjusting the result without constantly moving between different apps. And one last thing I want to show before we end the video is animation. You can also animate your assets directly here. So I'm going to go to the Animate category. Then I'll use the new Animate with Text model. I'll set the image, and then I'll just describe the action I want. For this one, I'll prompt wave at the camera. I'll enhance the prompt, I'll set the frame count to 8, and then I'll hit generate. And look at that. Now the character is waving at the camera. There are a lot more tools inside PixelLab that I didn't cover in this video, and many of them have their own tutorials already. So check out the other videos on the channel if you want a deeper look at specific tools. And if you have any questions or you want to share what you're making, feel free to join the PixelLab Discord. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.